for the private group, just for a couple of minutes, kind of behind the scenes part, what would you say about learning or anything else connected to that you were talking about that makes it practical for what really needs to be accomplished in the short time that remains? What kind of learning qualifies for what you were recommending to people?
Yeah, a few things. The first is to learn about your straw man, to learn about how we've been fooled into this state system, or what's the name? The court system. I mean, we are a corporation without our knowledge, when actually we are a living man or living woman. But we've been fooled, we've been duped into believing that I'm Mr. such and such or Mrs. such and such with capital letters. So you can, obviously there's so much information about it in English, just look it up, straw man. I've been interviewing Bibi Bakhus, who has courses on this area, and there's also, what's his name, Justinian, forgot the name. There's so many people now doing it in various countries, and they manage to take themselves out of the system. So this is really important, to know how to be a living man again and not a corporation or a straw man, to know how to claim it or to know how to make it redundant. I'm not sure about what's best in each country. You need to learn. This is like real learning. It's not easy subject, but it's a must, because it's a step on the road. The sooner you learn how to become a living man again, the better. This is one thing. The second thing, again, it's mostly for the children, but not just. The real pandemic is chronic diseases. It can be neurological diseases, neurodegenerative diseases, chronic diseases. So many names they have, but there's hundreds of them. But they all basically, they can be managed not by the normal doctor staff or medical staff, but they can be managed mostly by the three things I've said before: the light environment, the water environment, and the electromagnetic field environment. And this, please follow Dr. Laszlo Boros, please follow Dr. Jack Cruz, there's so many, I forget now. Well, you start with them, you come across others, like really, really clever people who really help millions. Once you understand the grip of it, you start to maintain your life in a much better way. Like, there's no radiation around you. You wake up early, like God made you wake up with the cucuriku of the chicken, and you start to do things which actually support your health, support your energy, support your body, support your life, and not harming them. This is, most of us are harming ourselves without our knowledge. Some do it with knowledge. So that's the second thing I would say we need to learn, because we are going into now, well, it's been for some time now, we're going into an era of a lot of poisons. I'm being really brief about it, but some of this learning can take you into how you can get rid of nanoparticles from the body, how you can basically detox your body. But I'm not talking about green juices, which is also good. I'm talking about some other aspects of detoxifying your body, really. So the more you go and learn these things, you see how much more there's to learn, how much you don't know. And I say it for myself and about myself first, and firstly I say it about myself. The more I learn, I see how much I don't know and how much I have to learn.
Exactly.
Maybe the third thing is to learn again, to relearn about nature, about how this creation has been made. Like the other day, I got a present from my wife and her mom, which is a book about, it's not here, but it's a book about how trees communicate. And this is something, And I love it. I mean, I love the subject. I know everything communicates all the time, but
That's right.
we've been separated from it. So we need to relearn how to connect with this communication, this natural communication that's happening 24/7. And a book like that is something that really puts you back on track, because you can learn how to move away from evil, but you need to learn also how to do good. And by that, you need the biohacking stuff, but you need also to learn or to relearn how to connect again with nature and the living systems that we are part of, not the dead, dead entities and robotics and all this bullshit. This is crap.
Just to make sure people understand, why don't you tell them what you mean by biohacking? Not everyone has heard of that.
I'll tell you, it's a good question. I wanted to say before, but I said, never mind. There's 3 types of biohacking, generally speaking. The first one, which is the original, where the phrase came from, is the CRISPR, is the basically doing, this is what they're doing actually now with the genetic stuff, is cutting bits of RNA or DNA and fitting other bits into it. So changing the RNA or DNA, and this is called CRISPR. And this is the first biohacking terminology where it came from. The second one is, which is also to do with our life today, is basically the combining robotics with humans. So let's say a soldier got hurt, got harmed, got one of his limbs chopped by a grenade or whatever. He comes back home and they fit him like Steve Austin, like a bionic arm or a bionic leg. And we see examples of combining or merging the cyborgs or the robotics with humans. So it's not that I'm against it. This is just a second biohacking explanation to what is biohacking. It's also the merging of robotics with humans. But now we're talking in a way on the good side of it. This is what we are presented as a good thing in order to, feed us with the bad stuff afterwards. The third, what I say is basically biohacking of the third kind, like the Steven Spielberg movie. Which is what I'm dealing with and what I'm working with, which is the natural stuff, or using or hacking our environment in order to improve our biological functioning, if you like. So it's not hacking to the biology, but it does understanding how physics works in order to improve our biology or biological functioning during the day, which is again what Dr. Jack Kruse is saying, mitochondriacs, which is more accurate, but it doesn't sound too good in Hebrew. So I chose biohacking or biohackers, which is also, it's a phrase that is being used around the world for the same stuff. So it's all right. I'm doing something kosher. Yes.
Neat. Okay. And again, for people within the group, anybody that wants to look at what you're talking about with that, or people that you're interviewing, they have to go to live.ahava528.com and look for
just go there and search Dr. Jack Kruse, for example, or Dr. Laszlo Boros, or biohacking, and just write in English and see what comes up, because some things will come up. I promise.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
So hold on and we'll say goodbye in this break again at the end.